Hello, everyone. If you want to get inspiration, motivation, and hacks about life, career, and writing, this is the channel for you. I am ERR Stories, and welcome to Life Thoughts and Inspirations TV. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Life Thoughts and Inspirations TV. I am ERR Stories, and our guest for today is teacher Alexandria Nicole B. Lacanilao. Teacher Nicole is a licensed professional teacher whose teaching performance has been recognized by the school she had been teaching with, in the past, back in 2018, where she received the highest in performance award. All her life, she has been achieving since grade school, graduating valedictorian in grade 6, salutatorian in high school, and completing a Bachelor of Elementary Education with specialization in special education at the University of the Philippines. But today, guys, iba, hindi tungkol sa mga study tips ang kanyang ikukwento, kung hindi we will dive deep into her life, diba? As she shares with us how the grace of the Lord made her triumphant over the many challenges she experienced in the past. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Teacher Nicole Lacanilao. Hello, Teacher Nicole!
Hello!
Hi, kumusta ang iyong araw today?
Hi, good naman. Okay naman. Sunday.
Sunday, no? Rest day and anong tawag dito? Recharge day.
Yes.
So speaking of recharge, before sabi natin kanina magda-dive deep tayo dun sa buhay mo. Pero kwento mo muna sa atin, how was it like when you were growing up?
And so when people ask me to share my testimony, I always start with, I grew up in a Christian home. I grew up in a Christian home, small Christian school, and then a small Christian church until I was like 12. And then we transferred to a different church. Pero parang it wasn't super big naman na kumbaga may community pa rin. So I was still very much active and connected. So yun. And then like on both sides of the family, like I'm a fourth generation parang Christian. So yeah, so parang all my life, like I was really parang bombarded with the Bible stories and the Bible teachings and everything. So everywhere, kasi school, and then pag Sunday church naman, tas pag uwi sa house. So yun, that was my life growing up naman. So yun, it was a very good childhood naman. So yeah.
What's your favorite Sunday school story, Bible story back when you were growing up?
Wala naman in particular. Pero parang I like memorizing stuff. Yung parang like parang gusto ko when people ask me mga trivia, nasasagot ko. Parang ganun yung ganun yung ko. So
mga quiz bee, no? Ganun,
yeah, mga ganun. Quiz. So parang can you recite all the books in the Bible? Mga ganun yung ko.
Yung mga fond memories. Okay. So, you've mentioned that you grew up in a Christian family since you were young and all. Pero I saw in one of your posts on Facebook that there was also a time you've mentioned that you were clinically diagnosed with depression. So, okay lang bang ikwento mo sa amin kung paano nangyari yon, ano yung story behind that?
Yeah. So, yes, I was diagnosed nga with clinical depression. That was 2013. So, I was 19 years old, and then anong year na ba ako na, like third year college. So, what happened nun? I didn't know na it was depression. Parang I had headaches every day, as in like to the point na hindi na nag-work sa akin yung biogesic. Kasi like parang ano na siya, parang ganun na siya ko-strong. And then I got parang like desensitized or immune to it na. So, parang one day in August, I had like hyperacidity, UTI, and then of course the headaches were there. So, parang dinala ako sa ER, and then they said na they treated the UTI, the hyperacidity, but they said they couldn't explain the headaches. So, I looked for the nearest. So, they said see a neurologist. And then, parang I looked for a neurologist online based on my schedule near in the Las Piñas area. And then, he started asking questions about like my head, like when does it hurt, where, mga ganyan. Tapos, like my answers were all over the place, and then parang I couldn't really give parang proper answers. It just so happened that his subspecialty is psychiatry. So he was like, "You're not, there's nothing wrong with your brain." Sabi niya. Those are his exact words. There's nothing wrong with your brain. Like, you have clinical depression, ganyan. So he prescribed an antidepressant. Like, super small dose lang. And then, yun, I took it for a few months, and then it worked nga. Nawala yung headaches. So it was really what was causing, kasi usually, like, parang how could an antidepressant treat a headache, diba? So, parang it means like the depression really was causing the headaches. And then that's how I was diagnosed. And then I started seeing a therapist, kasi parang usually yung mga psychiatrists, they don't do the long. They always recommend na see a therapist kasi you need parang more talking to do, parang ganun. So, yun, that's how I was diagnosed.
Pero, ano yung naging trigger, or ano yung naging reason?
Yeah nga pala. Kasi daw, so in UP, like when I passed na college, it's like, uy, dream school, ganyan. And then I was dead set na mag-medicine kasi I was really fascinated with the human anatomy and stuff. And then, I failed, like parang 2012, I failed 2 subjects, major subjects.
Major subjects.
Oh. Yeah, so parang feeling ko like yung nag-crash yung world ko. Kasi like, yun nga, as you said dun sa intro, growing up talaga, I was really an achiever. Parang when I get a 94 sa test, parang feeling ko medyo mababa na yun. Parang ganun yung feeling talaga. And then, so, when I moved to UP, I was like, oh man, I'm not that smart. Parang gano'n. Yeah, and parang yung the people, like, I mean, I was okay with hindi ako na culture shock kasi diba usually yung mga those who grew up sa Christian, like they get culture shock na ba't ganyan yung mga, no parang for me, it was more of like, I'm not that, parang there's, like, my world was super small, and then like you put me from a fishbowl to the ocean. Parang ganun yung feeling, like, oh my gosh, parang ganun. So yeah, I wasn't used to from Hatid Sundo to ng 5 minutes away from the house to commuting by myself in a bus. Wow. 1.5 hours one way. Yung ganun. So parang when I get home, parang I cannot anymore, like ganyan. And then I wasn't used to the system pa in the university kasi very, yung bahala kayo, parang, basta this is what we're gonna do, and then like, you figure out how to do it. Parang that's how I felt na, parang I felt like, yun nga, I was pushed in an ocean without a floater, parang ganun. So, yun. So, and then, parang that was kind of, kasi I grew up rin na melancholic So like, yun nga, I was pretty hard on myself. Yun, imagine 94. Pag 94 or something, I would like feel bad na ganyan, or parang if people would make fun of me, kunwari, for my weight, kasi I was medyo heavy set even as a kid. I'd be like, okay lang, I'm smart naman Parang ganon, like, it became my security blanket talaga na, it's okay, like, I'm the first honor naman eh. Parang ganon. Ganon yung ano ko. So when I failed 2 subjects, well, even before that, I was already struggling na. So the first time, I passed pero parang masama na yung loob ko kasi passed lang, ganon. So lalo na when I failed. That year kasi when I was diagnosed, parang I was taking yung physiology for the second time. Because I was on the brink na naman of failing again. So I was like, ano ba? Parang, yun, parang, ang memory ko around the time I was diagnosed is like, I was walking by myself. Kasi from blockmates in UP Manila to wala nang block. So I was by myself. Kasi nga my blockmates were moving ahead na. That's me, I had to repeat the stuff. So parang I felt really lost. Ganon yung feeling. So, yun. And then I was diagnosed.
Okay. How did you take it when you were diagnosed? Were you stuck? Or ano yung feeling mo?
Nung una parang, okay, yun pala yung tawag doon. Parang when I search, syempre, yung curious, I searched for it talaga. Tapos I was like, oo nga, pasok na pasok yung like the symptoms and everything. And then I remember nga, for some reason, yung topic din sa classes were like, the topics were about mental health. For some reason, in 2013, hindi pa siya as talked about like as it is today eh.
Correct.
So, no time din, I was like, bakit ako yung dinidescribe? Parang ganon. So, parang I would tear up na during class, ganon. Pero parang at the same time, I was relieved din na, okay, I'm not the only one naman pala going through this. Parang ganon. So, yeah, parang mixed emotions din. Parang ganon.
Galing ng tapang mo nang you were 19. And, di ba? Parang, wow. Okay, so you've mentioned about a little bit about your weight loss and all. Parang naging security blanket mo siya. Pero right now, there's no sign of you having that weight problem. So how did you overcome naman that part?
Yeah. That's din. Marami yung ganap. So, around that time, noong 2013, baliktad, I wouldn't eat like, ano ba? Kasi parang I had this friend na basta kinall out niya ako na I was getting fat daw. So, parang ang term pa nga niya, skill Ronald McDonald eh. Basta to. So that I'd stop eating daw McDonald's. And then, yun. And then, because of that, I stopped like eating basically. Kasi that was the time then na nag-leave of absence ako from school. Kasi ngayon nga I failed. So I had to take a leave kasi yung parang waiting for the subject to be offered. Seasonal pa. So imagine talaga the horror. So yeah, I had to take a leave of absence. And then, so during that leave, yung SEM na yon, na sabi ko I'm gonna study physiology, ganyan. I wasn't eating na lang. Parang, ako lang mag-isa sa house kasi like everyone was in school, at work. They didn't know na I wasn't eating pala, ganyan. So I really lost like a lot of weight. And then, pag weekends, people like in church would be like, wow, you lost so much weight. Ganon sila, parang, ganyan. So ako parang, okay pala to, ganyan. So, na-reinforce until I had cysts on my throat. Like, nagkaroon ng mga cysts. So when I went to the throat doctor, he said my hyperacidity. He's like, do you skip meals? So like,
yeah, guilty.
so yeah, I lost a lot of weight, and then he told me to eat properly. And then the opposite naman. So when I was in Katipunan na, when I transferred na to Diliman, baliktad na. So parang more of the binge eating side. Kasi wala rin akong kasama noon, no blockmates, like yung mga roommates ko nun, baliktad kami ng schedule eh. Wala sila sa gabi, ako yung wala sa day. So, hindi kami nag-aabot sa room. And then, yun, I would eat talaga. Like, when you go down, like, sa may entrance kasi ng where I stayed, there's Henlin and Potato Corner and Save More. So, naging ko na yun, parang routine na ang dala ko, like, yung fries, tsaka yung, like, some siomai, whatever. And then yun, so yun naman balloon talaga, like parang I became 200 pounds nun.
200 pounds.
Yeah. So I had a hard time like breathing talaga. Then all the back pains were there. Then the PCOS. Like, oh my gosh. So pero parang may psychiatrist told me na don't attempt to lose weight if you're not okay with yourself. Parang you have to learn to accept yourself. Ganon. So, yun. So I started that weight loss journey in 2019 naman because of the compre in MA. So, kasi 'di ba, I took some units nga in MA. Then so the compre was fast approaching. Super nasa-stress ako. And then I noticed na when I would study, I would fall asleep lang. So sabi ko, hindi na to kaya kasi parang, like, wherever kahit sa coffee shop pa yan, or I even went to a parang, yung co-working space. So even there, nakakatulog talaga ako kasi I cannot do this anymore. So nag-search ako for gyms near, like, my workplace. And then, yun, sakto na parang, syempre the gym is super foreign to me. Like, I only knew how to operate the treadmill. The rest, like, what is that? So, yun. So, parang lunok pride na, sige na nga, ganyan. Tsaka if you put money into it, kasi mas gagawin mo eh. So, fine, I hired a personal trainer. So, up to now, he's still my personal trainer 2 years later. So, good naman kasi may results naman eh. So, from 200 pounds, like, I'm at like, what, 140 or something.
Wow.
Pero more than that, then parang, like, nakakapag yung chin up, push-ups, mga ganon. So, I would ask that, when you met me ba, naisip mo ba na magagawa ko? So, hindi. Kaya yun. So, now I'm doing it more for the strength gains. Yun.
Wow. Nakakatuwa naman, no? Parang from yung mga weight things mo and all, talagang kailangan mo talagang parang para sa akin yung message na Pero hindi pa naman sa gym. Ito-try kong dito muna sa bahay, di ba?
Yeah.
Yung mga routines mo eh. Sabi ko, oy, mukhang kakayanin ko naman.
Yeah. Super doable naman. Ano lang, consistency.
Ayan. So, along the way, I mean, since 2013 until 2019, may mga times ba na parang, was it like consistently you're doing therapy or from time to time lang? How was it like?
No, parang from 2013 na diagnosed. August yun eh. So siguro up to December kasi that was the worst talaga. Parang one of the worst dips that I had talaga. So yun, as in parang to the point na my therapist said, no, we have to meet twice a week. Kasi it's so bad talaga na, like, I would just show up kasi they brought me there, parang ganun. Like, pero yung flat affect, psych terms, yung talaga, parang, like, no, I wasn't even sad eh. Parang it was more of numb to everything. Parang, okay, another day, like, okay, kaya rin ako nag-transfer to Diliman from Manila. Kasi parang dito transfer, okay, transfer. Parang ganon. So, like, it wasn't super my choice. Parang ganon. That's what happened. So, yun, therapy, up to that, siguro up to mga March pala. And then, napansin nung therapist ko na I was doing a lot better, so I stopped for a bit. And then, bad thing is, I stopped, my meds, cold turkey. without the advice of the doctor. Bad yun. Like, oh my goodness talaga. So, parang kasi sabi ko, okay na ako, ganyan. Like, I'm free, ganyan. And then parang na-clear pa ako from therapy. And then, siguro mga 2016, it came back na, yung with a vengeance, yung sabi nila. So, I went back to the doctor. And then, the neurologist pa nun ulit, kasi nga siya nga yung nag-prescribe. So sabi niya, why did you stop?
Why did you stop?
Nang bigla. So parang, sige, continue it again, ganyan. And then parang when I came back yung for the check-up again, sabi ko, I'm having suicidal thoughts. For me, at the time na, parang hindi, like, I learned na when you have suicidal thoughts, it's not necessarily because I want to die. Yung parang they're just there, parang fleeting, you know. So, and then he said na that's beyond my scope. So, he transferred me to a psychiatrist. So, that was another really bad dip also. So, in school, parang, yun, I would force myself to show up talaga. As in, like, papasok ako ang dala ko lang phone, keys, and yung pamasahe, coins. Kasi mag-jeep lang ako. And then my friends would be like, oh, where are your stuff? I'm like, nasa condo. Tapos they're like, okay. So parang hindi man lang sila nagtataka na parang weird, diba? Ganyan. Eh, since I was a special education major, napansin ng prof ko na there was something off. Ang galing nga eh. I was like, wow. She stopped me before going. I was like, how are you? What's ano? Siguro na siya. Like, ang galing. It's like, I miss my depression. Sabi niya, just show up. Just show up. Ganun siya ng ganun. So, yun. Tas, until I graduated, parang ganun yung naging mantra ko. And then, yun, I found comfort nga in food and stuff. So, yun. That was so parang, nung first major dip ko, I wasn't eating. So, natong second, I was binging. So, yeah. So, yun yung parang kwento naman.
Pero along the way, Teacher Nicole, how has your faith in the Lord helped you also to, be triumphant with this journey?
Yeah. Grabe. It was really challenging yung like what I said. Parang, it wasn't spoken about at that time. Lalo na in Christian circles na, kasi in the secular, parang, nag-iinarte. Pero parang in church or in school, they would say, lack of faith. I'm like, no, parang ganon. So, kasi nga, it wasn't like as talked about yet. So, parang that's where I felt talaga na, oh, okay, like, parang God really accepts me as I am. Like, it's not my achievements, not my last name, kasi I grew up nga in a parang Christian family. Not anything, but then I can come, like, even in my darkest, para I could really pray to God. Kasi even during that time, ayoko na magbasa ng Bible, ayoko na mag-church, pero I would pray pa rin. Pero parang, I didn't feel na parang you're not accepted because you're not going to church, or yung ganon. So, like, parang God really became my rock at that time. So, I would write the yung the spoken word, that was in the middle of the two dips, diba? Pero yeah, I would write poetry, mga ganon. And then, sometimes I would, like, write poetry na from parang God's perspective, like, talking to a child, parang ganon. So, and then I'd read it to myself after. Kasi, yun, parang, yeah, that was how I coped with it. And yeah, so si God, parang I became more secure with my relationship with God. Not parang, it's not really about the religion or what people say. And I realized na the church is ano din, parang humans talaga. So just as I am flawed, they are flawed. So parang if they say something na na-offend ako, I know naman na their intentions were good. So, like, you choose na lang your battles. Like, if you're gonna parang educate ba, or like to confront the person, or like, yung mga ganon. So, yeah. Pero at the end of the day, I'd cry it all out to God. Lord, sabi ni ganito. Yung parang ganon mo, sakit na, parang ganon yung ano. So, yun. Parang imagine, they would tell you, you have to pray more. I'm like, ito nga lang yung ginagawa. Parang ganun yung feeling. So, yeah. So, even during the days, I remember lang sa parang, yun nga, kasi baliktad nga yung sa roommates ko. So, when I'd be alone in the condo, parang, kasi hindi ako nakakapasok. Like, I couldn't get up, literally, like, I could not. Parang I felt like I had a ton of bricks on me. So even like to eat, parang I would like crawl to the fridge or to the kitchenette to to just eat kasi nga parang I had to. Pero, yeah, wala talaga. As in, like, I don't know how, I couldn't have done it, like, by myself talaga. As
Mm-mm.
in, yeah.
Grabe no. Ano talaga, grace pa rin ni Lord. And I think, you're correct. Kasi, especially, yung mga bata na lumaki talaga sa Christian homes, sometimes, iba talaga din yung pressure. I mean, I don't know, parang,
Yeah,
diba, lalo kapag, kunwari, pastor's kid, ganyan,
yeah,
ang lakas talaga ng pressure na dapat may set of norms or standards na you have to follow through. But just like what you said, you know, everyone talaga, we have our own challenges in life. We have our battles, and our great father talaga. Doon talaga natin makikita eh. Actually, Teacher Nicole, there was a time I was trying to research, ano ba to talagang, meron bang Bible character na nag-undergo ng same thing, yun yung process na yun. I found out na si Elijah, si Prophet Elijah, may mga ganun ding instances sa buhay niya na parang he's doing his best and yet people are not, you know, accepting him, to the fact na parang naisip niya, why am I doing this and all. Parang na-point din siya na sobrang bigat sa kalooban niya. And yet, gaya ng sinabi mo, the Lord will really accept us the way we are, di ba? Yung ganong,
yeah,
ang ganda ng realization mo na yun, no? Na parang, talagang big father talaga natin si Lord.
yeah.
Oo. And I
Father
think
talaga.
nakabuti talaga ni Colden na you were, parang may roots ka na talaga back nung bata ka pa. So, maganda rin yun na parang sa mga parents, di ba? Palakihin talaga natin yung mga bata sa salita ng Diyos. Pero at the same time, i-remind din natin talaga na, you know, wag masyadong gantong-gantong structure.
Yeah.
Diba? Sabi nga ang nangyayari kaya yung iba, hindi sila naniniwala or nag-accept ng faith na to is because parang sobrang restricted ng mga actions. They cannot be who they are, yung mga ganyan. Pero,
Yeah.
oo.
Yeah, I think factor din yun eh. Parang I'm thankful na talaga na my parents are accept. Parang hindi nila super gets. I remember na when they told them, pero like, huh? Parang ganon. So parang ako pa yung nag-show ng mga infographic. They're like, sige, parang basta go through what they tell you. Kasi hindi naman parang listen to the professionals. Parang ganon yung stand nila. Pero parang like, they didn't super get it then initially. But then I'm so thankful na parang they were like, sige, go for it na lang, parang ganun. So yeah, I think that's a factor rin.
Oo, dapat talaga mga parents na be open, kagaya ng mga parents mo, the way they handled it, di ba? Yung iba kasi shutdown eh, di ba?
Yeah. Yun yung, like, parang yung mga church na when they tell me nga na they ask for help, hindi ko parang, kasi hindi ako super makarelate in that sense. Pero parang ang hirap naman nun, like yung parents mo pa yung, yung hindi mag-support, parang ganun. So, yeah. Parang technically, like, in a sense, I grew up pretty privileged na yun nga, parang my parents were open, tapos we could afford naman to buy meds, to go to therapy. Ang mahal din ng therapy. Super mahal. Oh my gosh, like twice a week. So, parang that's partly the reason why I'm open to sharing, like, in any way that I can. Like, not naman like all my posts are about it, pero parang in yung pasundot-sundot na, you know, parang that's my way of giving back na parang to show that it's really like, you know, like you can, but then you can manage it. So, with the right support and stuff like that.
Wow. So, ano ngayon yung inspiration mo, Teacher Nicole? What inspires you to keep going?
Well, now, parang I have my mga goals in kasi parang yun nga, I resigned in yung sa teaching. Kasi parang yun nga, that wasn't my choice. Parang what happened doon. Kaya when I transferred to Diliman, I was in the middle, pinadala ako sa States for like 2 weeks lang. Parang just to, you know, like, debrief or something.
Yeah.
And then, so my dad was the one who passed my papers dun sa Diliman. Pero hindi yun yung original na course eh. Parang ganun. Basta pinasa lang niya ng pinasa yung application ko. Tapos parang I was like, okay. Parang sabi niya, in-apply kita sa SPED. I was like, okay. Parang ganun yung ano. So when I was in SPED, ang goal ko, parang now what I do, like I take it parang season by season siguro. So when I was in SPED, my goal was to finish the degree. Parang gano'n, you need that degree kasi nga I graduated, I started college 2010, that's 4 years in Manila. That's when they realized na kailangan pala transfer. So yun, hanggang 2018 na. Tapos naalala ko nga, they were telling me na, oh, mag-exchange student tayo sa gano'n sa Taiwan. I was like, ayaw ko na, I just want to finish this. Parang gano'n na talaga yung ano ko, like, naka-dead set na finish this degree. Parang gano'n. And then, in therapy, one of the, parang, yung tinuro sa akin ng therapist ko is, you have to be okay na you don't know yet. Parang gano'n. Kasi I grew up nga ng achiever, ganyan. Like, I always knew what I wanted to do. Parang gano'n, like, dapat ganito, ganyan. Yung, parang, that's why my work ethic is actually pretty good. Yun nga, the highest in performance. Kasi nga, I'm really good with yung mga, parang, sticking to stuff. And then, she told me na, it's okay na you don't know what you want. It's okay. I was like, parang, how would I do that? Parang ganon. So I wasn't used to it. So when I graduated from college, ganon pa rin. Parang I didn't really know what I wanted. So parang, I need to earn kahit pa paano. Sige na nga, I'll teach na nga. Parang ganon kasi sayang degree, whatever. And then they recommended na I take MA in psych. So I was like, sige. Parang ganon. Parang everything was just like, okay, parang experiment na like, where do I, so, yun. And then, actually, thanks to the whole fitness thing, that's where I realized na, I can do harder stuff pala. Parang, I don't, like, and then, yun. So, when the pandemic hit, I resigned. Even though, I didn't really, I mean, I had an idea na, but I knew na ayaw ko ng 9 to 5 na job, na parang I wanted a more open schedule and stuff. That's why I went for the e-commerce thing. So now my goal is to like make my business profitable and stuff. So yeah, so parang, and now parang I'm at peace din kasi it was my choice na parang. So yun syempre with prayer and like, Lord, yung step out in faith na, kasi I didn't study it like, eduk nga yung course ko. So, I was like, sige na nga, parang, pero I knew na I really wanted, kasi parang I told myself, in the long run, I want to have a more, like, yun nga, flexible schedule, and then, parang business was the one that was most, like, open to that kind of setup. So, yun. Then e-commerce, kasi we're at home, and you can do it anywhere. So that's why I pursued it. So, yeah.
So towards that goal ka na to make your e-commerce really fly, diba?
Yeah. Actually, what I want talaga is to help people then, like, parang provide employment, ganun.
Wow.
Yung parang the business can run even if I'm like on vacation or if I have to do something. Yung ganun, that's my vision now. So, yeah, that's what I.
Okay. So for the past years, diba, ang dami mo na experiences sa buhay and all. Ano yung mga natutuhan mo sa experiences mo?
Wow. Sobrang dami na, like, yeah, you're gonna make mistakes talaga. And that's the biggest source ng where you can get information. So like, okay, so I'm not supposed to do it like that. Or yung parang ganon. So, and yeah, for me, it depends kasi per season. So like nung college, it was more of one day at a time. So like today, hindi ako nakapasok. Kasi I didn't get up talaga. And then tomorrow is another day. So mercies are new every morning. So that's when I wake up, okay, new mercies from God. And then, yan, kung kaya, ayun, nakapasok ko. It's a win. Parang ganon. So, yeah. Now naman, with the challenges of the business and stuff, parang sometimes it's easy to, like yun nga, mental health pa rin na parang you get like overwhelmed or insecure na parang why why aren't there as many sales, or like parang why are their businesses flourishing, I'm doing that din naman parang ganon yung but then yung parang just to the verse yung captivate every thought, make it obedient to Christ. So the shorter version, what I tell myself now when I catch myself thing is like, that doesn't serve me. So parang sometimes when I feel bad, like, parang I super suck at this business thing. Why did I, saying, this doesn't serve me. This doesn't serve me. Parang ganun. So yun, parang that's how I like catch myself before it, proliferates into, kasi yun nga, based on my history, parang yung I tend to talaga overthink and dwell on that. So parang that's what I really studied. Like how do I, yun nga, and when I was in MA, what are the strategies and then the different cognitive distortions. For me, that was a big eye opener. Ako yun. all like all of the above at some point. So yung parang I learned to know myself better then and appreciate like who I am and yung to become a better person. Kasi yun, I can always strive to be somebody better and stuff like that.
Alam mo sa mga sinabi mo, Teacher Nicole, I remember yung Bible verse na sabi nga na, all things work together for good for those who believe in the Lord. Kasi kung titignan mo, di ba, nagkumuha ka ng education, pero parang business yung kinukuha mo. Pero in a way, it's also teaching you na to be teachable din, di ba? And
yeah.
Di ba? MA in psychology mo din, nakatulong din.
Yeah.
Now, for you to handle yourself then, handle your own mga episodes and all, and even yung occupational therapy, some kind of related din sa fitness journey mo. Diba?
Yeah, actually, that's talaga. Doon ako nag-anatomy as in, oh my gosh, when I was in fit. Kasi hindi kasi ako like athletic person. So parang when I was in fit, parang, yung ganun yung feeling, like when I started. Pero parang alam ko kailangan kong gawin. So I had to look for something interesting to make it appeal to me. And then it was the anatomy talaga. So parang when my coach would give me instructions, I'm gonna say, use technical terms kasi parang hindi ko get. So parang when he would do this, so I'm like, kasi hindi nga ako kinesthetic masyado. So, pero when he says na, hindi, flexion of the it's like, okay.
Okay, sounds familiar.
Yeah, mas na-gets ko na. So parang kunwari when he says na activate kasi when I would do like a movement, no, you're not doing it. You're supposed to feel it in your lats. Lagi yung sinasabi. Okay. So, mas nagawa ko na ng tama kasi nga, I know where tsaka yung the action of the muscles are. So, yun. That's why, like, and parang in a way, like, diba, yun nga, I said na I wanted to become a medical doctor. Pero parang, no, I don't regret not pursuing it na. Kasi, parang, in a way, I got it na in when I took anatomy in OT. I took it pa twice kasi nga I failed. So twice na lang ako nag-dissect ng cadaver. And that was what I really wanted to do in med school. Yung study ng anatomy. So parang, yun, I got what I wanted out of it. And yeah. Tsaka ayoko na mag-study ng ganun kahaba. So yeah. Tsaka yung with the education thing, what you said, now kasi parang when I started in January, so I slowly got na mga interns. So like, she said senior, yung kinukuha ko yung mga senior high. So parang kasi I couldn't afford naman to pay minimum. But then I can shell out a bit. like, for your efforts. So, yung mga kinukuha ko, senior high, I also taught senior high in previous work. So, I was like, okay. So, like, in a way, I kind of know how to deal with them and stuff. So, when I wanna get more interns in the future or something, definitely the eduk will help.
Diba? Oh, it's parang hodgepodge, pero it's part of a bigger picture.
Yeah.
And because of that bigger picture, before we end our interview, Teacher Nicole, meron ka bang message sa ating mga viewers, especially those who are, undergoing emotional challenges, especially now with the situation that we are in? Ano yung message mo sa kanila?
Yeah. Actually, kakaiba tong setup. Like, this whole pandemic is so new to everyone. So, healing and progress is really not linear. So, like, with me, I had two, two major dips, but then with a lot of many little dips in between. But then it's not linear, but it can be managed. So, yeah, that's my biggest, I guess. Tsaka, yeah, basically, it can be managed. And then, I'm so thankful na I can always talk to. Parang si God talaga yung pinaka-constant.
That's true.
In the whole, like, parang roller coaster of emotions and stuff, parang si God is there in the highs and the lows. So,
Yan. Alright. Napaka-saya ng ating conversations today, di ba? And thank you for sharing your life story with us, lalo na sa ating mga audience. And we pray that continuously, diba, yung audience din natin, especially, will be open to facing these challenges. And, sabi nga, diba, Teacher Nicole, do not deny what you feel and acknowledge it. At yun talaga magsisimula. And yung sinabi mo, Teacher Nicole, God talaga is the constant of all, diba? So, yun. Thank you so much, Teacher Nicole. Ilalagay natin
thank you.
Yung kanyang Facebook. Okay lang ba? Lalagay natin ang yung Facebook account sa ating description para malaman nila further yung
Instagram,
story.
YouTube.
And YouTube. Guys, meron siyang spoken poetry na sobrang ganda. Dapat yung pakinggan. Diba? So, thank you so much, Teacher Nicole. This has been Errstories. Thank you, guys, and see you again next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Bye! Thank you for watching my video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to your friends. And yes, always remember Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Bye-bye!